picture and path for reopening Arizona amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Ducey extending his stay-at-home order until May 15th.
And while that order says, in effect, some restrictions will be eased in what the governor calls a gradual, phased-in process. Now, this includes a partial reopening of retail on Monday, May 4th, and expanded 4 days later on May 8th. It'll be voluntary. Social distancing, obviously a must in all this. They have to practice that. Curbside pickups used as well. Governor Ducey says in-restaurant dining could open potentially as early as May 12th, but will release additional information coming up next week. Then in a Q&A with reporters, he clarified that the reopening of bars will not be part of that. And during the governor's briefing, we learned even more, that President Trump will be visiting Arizona sometime next week. No other details were given at this point.
Moving forward, the governor says all decisions will be made with public health in mind. Arizona's so-called testing blitz begins this weekend. The state is hoping to test up to 60,000 people over the next 3 weekends, and you can schedule an appointment now. For more on today's developments, let's start with ABC 15's Nicole Gregg.
Yeah, hi, Steve. And the governor making clear today that he is modifying his order, that it stands in effect until May 15th, but he's starting to open up some of those industries. So the governor taking a pretty measured response, if you will. He's talking about phases, and that first phase will be May 4th. Retail will start with limited opening, though. The governor says he will make decisions next week for dine-in restaurants, and the best case scenario will be sometime mid-May. But here's the thing. Does the data support this? The governor has consistently said he would follow the data, that his decisions would be based on data, but incomplete models with lagging data, do they really support a reopening argument?
Well, I want to really push back on how the question was posed. There's a lot of data. I took you through just a summary version of all the data that you're seeing. Let's not reset the goalposts in the media, shall we? This has always been a disease and a virus that has spread, which is determined by medical science to be widespread. The virus is not going away. What we're going to do is mitigate the illnesses and reduce the deaths.
And here's the thing, though. We have been hearing from businesses. They say, regardless of what the governor had to say today, they are reopening Friday. They plan to defy his orders. The governor was asked about this today, about enforcement, what he's going to do. He says that it will be enforced, even saying people who don't want to follow this, they could lose their liquor licenses. Another thing, the president expected to come next week. We know a lot of people come out to these type of events. So we asked the governor about that, and he said that the president is welcome here in Arizona. Reporting live tonight, Nicole Gregg, ABC 15, Arizona.
Well, another issue, major issue we've been following is the spread of coronavirus in long-term care facilities. Arizonans 65 and older make up a quarter of all cases, but account for more than 75% of our state's deaths. We don't know which facilities are hotspots because the state will not release any of that data by location. ABC 15's Zach Crenshaw joining us with that part of the coverage for us tonight. Zach?
Yeah, good evening, Katie. Well, you mentioned it. They are not releasing this data, and we are hearing from families who have loved ones in these long-term care facilities that say they have a right to know this data. It will inform their decisions about their loved ones inside these facilities currently, and also about where they place them next. Now, in Maricopa County alone, there are more than 100 long-term care facilities today with at least one case of COVID-19 in staff or residents. We have repeatedly had Arizonans reach out to us and say they need the information from these facilities, but the state has repeatedly hid behind health privacy laws like HIPAA, which national and state experts tell us does not apply to this situation or releasing this information. Now, in many other states like Florida and nearby Nevada, they are releasing the number of COVID-19 cases and deaths at each nursing home and assisted living facility. Today, Dr. Kara Christ changing her tune yet again, this time citing state law, not HIPAA, as a reason she's not releasing this.
there is state law that requires me to protect people's communicable disease information, and I take that job seriously. If a court of law decides to disagree with the department's interpretation of what type of information we need to protect, I will happily release that.
So you hear Dr. Chris there potentially preparing for a lawsuit. In the last 30 minutes, AARP, which oversees a lot of the elderly and works to advocate on their behalf, sent a multi-page letter to Governor Ducey's office saying they do not believe that state law or HIPAA protects this information. They say they urge the governor to release the number of cases and deaths by facility in Arizona. We will see what the governor will do. So far, he has held off on releasing this information and has deferred to Kara Christ, who's been quite vague in her answers. Live downtown, Zach Crenshaw, ABC 15, Arizona.
Well, keeping a pulse on your response to all this, the governor delivered his next steps and his plan. Here's what a lot of you had to say. Everybody weighing in right now. Let's listen in.
Right now, personally, I'm kind of in the grind where I'm used to it. A couple more weeks. If that's the safest thing, then that would be the thing to do. Just kind of wait it out and be safe and go back to businesses when the green light is given.
I haven't seen anybody I know get sick, not that saying that that's not a thing or anything like that. I just maybe think that it maybe have been blown out a little bit out of proportion, and I would definitely be right back to it if they opened it up.
I'm not mad because that's just what we've been doing. I definitely am going kind of insane, and I'm sure everyone is, but whatever can help.
I would continue to stay at home, obviously, if that's what he thinks is best, and then just continue to go outside. Probably would be a little upset because I'm ready for things to start opening.
Of sacrifice that has happened in our state over the last 45 days. It's been an incredible
Obviously, we're hearing from so many of you, that reaction pouring into our newsroom as well. Ahead at 6, even more reaction on the governor's announcement coming from small business owners.